Namaste Sitaram everyone. Let us begin this morning's devotion by chanting the name of Bhagwan. Sit upright, spine erect, and first we will inhale deeply and we will chant. As we exhale, we chant Om. We will do this 3 times. Gajananam Bhurganari Sevitam Kapit-jambu palcharo bhakshanam Umasutam shoka vinashkarakam Namami Vigneshwara Parapankajam Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham karishyami siddhir bhavatu me sada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanur Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Lamdayate Giram Yakripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Krishnaya Vasudevaya Haraye Paramatmane Pranata Krishnashaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Om Atulita Baladhamam Hemashelabdeham Dhanujavana Krishanam Jnaninama Graganyam Sakala Gunanidhanam Vanaranamadesham Raghupati Priya Bhaktam Vatmajatam Namami Neelambuja Shamal Komalangam Sita Samaropitu Vamavangam Pano Mahasayak Charu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvanshanatam Om Namah Shambhavaya Cha Mayo Bhavaya Cha Namah Shankaraya Cha Mayaskaraya Cha Namah Shivaya Cha Shivataraya Cha Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Namastu Namastu Te Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pularvinda Yatapatra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharati Taila Puna Prajalito Jnanaya Pradeepa Ek Babul Shri Vyas Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Ki Jai सभी को खड़े हो जाओ stand for आरती Om Sajam Chavarti Samyuktam Vahina Yojitam Maya दीपं गृहाणनिवेश त्रैलोक्यतिमिरापहम् जय जननी जय भागवतम जय जननी जय भागवतम जय जननी जय भागवतम जय जननी जय भागवतम जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती ये अमर ग्रंथ ये मुक्ति पंथ ये पंचन वेद निराला नव ज्योति जगाने वाला ये अमर ग्रंथ ये मुक्ति पंथ ये
पंचम वेद निराला
नव ज्योति जगाने वाला हरि गान यही वरदान यही हरि गान यही वरदान यही जग के मंगल की आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती ये शांति गीत पावन पुनीत शापों को मिटाने वाला हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला ये शांति गीत पावन पुनीत शापों को मिटाने वाला हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला है सुख करनी है दुख हरनी है सुख करनी है दुख हरनी ये मधुसूदन की आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती ये मधुर बोल जग पंद खोल संग मार्ग दिखाने वाला बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला ये मधुर बोल जग पंद खोल संग मार्ग दिखाने वाला बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही
श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही
प्रभु की महिमा की
आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती
जय जय
भागवत भगवान की है आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती
जय जय भागवत
भगवान की है आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती पापियों को पाप से है तारती पापियों को पाप से है तारती।
Let us sit and we're going to do some chant before we do Katha. Mangalam Bhagavan Vishnu Mangalam Garudatvaja Mangalam Pundarikaksham Mangalayatanu Hari. Prem se bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lala ki Jai. Auntie, uncle, let's have a seat. Let me join with them as we do a little chant before we go forward into our Katha. Sing and chant.
गोविन्द हरे गोपाल हरे हरि गोपी गोपबाला गोविन्द हरे गोपाल हरे हरि मुरली ज्ञान लोला गोपाल हरे हरि गोपी गोपबाला गोविन्द हरे गोपाल हरे हरि मुरली ज्ञान लोला जय गिरिवर गोपाला जय गिरिधर गोपाला जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला गिरिधर गोपाला जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला गोविन्द हरे गोपाल हरे हरि गोपी गोपबाला गोविन्द हरे गोपाल हरे हरि मुरली ज्ञान लोला गोविन्द हरे गोपाल हरे हरि गोपी गोपबाला गोविन्द हरे गोपाल हरे हरि मुरली ज्ञान लोला जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला 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 गोविन्द हरे गोपाल हरे हरि गोपी गोपबाला गोविन्द हरे गोपाल हरे हरि मुरली ज्ञान लोला गोविन्द हरे गोपाल हरे हरि गोपी गोपबाला गोविन्द हरे गोपाल हरे हरि मुरली ज्ञान लोला हरि मुरली ज्ञान लोला हरि मुरली ज्ञान लोला
Sing one. Any little chant. Sing and we go chorus again. Yeah, brothers, and I wonder where we start from. Baba, sing a little chant for me now, boy.
Hare Hare Gopal Radhe Krishna Hare Hare Napandananuranga
Hare Hare Govinda Panduranga Hare Hare Gopal Radhe Krishna
Hare Hare Gopal Radhe Krishna
Hare Hare Govinda Panduranga Hare Hare Govinda Panduranga Hare Hare Gopal Radhe Krishna
Hare Hare Gopal Radhe Krishna
हे जगवंदन देवकी नंदन असुर निकंदन हरे हरे हे जगवंदन देवकी नंदन असुर निकंदन हरे हरे अलक निरंजन भव भय भंजन अलक निरंजन भव भय जंजन जनम मरंजन हरे 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 गोपाल राधे कृष्ण हरे हरे गोपाल राधे कृष्ण हरे हरे गोविंद पांडुरंगा हरे हरे गोविंद पांडुरंगा हरे हरे गोपाल राधे कृष्ण Hare Hare Gopal Radhe Krishna, Hare Hare Gopal Radhe Krishna, Hare Hare Gopal Radhe Krishna, Hare Hare Govinda Panduranga, Hare Hare Govinda Panduranga, Hare Hare Gopal Radhe Krishna, Hare Hare Gopal Radhe Krishna, Hare Hare Gopal Radhe Krishna, Hare Hare Gopal Radhe Krishna. Bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai.
Then we do Sumira. Yeah, you what? For all devotees looking on this morning, let's all put our hands together as we do our Sumiran before going forward into Bhagwat. Everybody clasp your hands and say your prayers as we get set to go into our kata.
Riddhi Siddhi Data, Siddhi Saran Varan Vadana, Sumiro Barambar, Maran Karan Ke Lal Ko, Ganapati Kripa Nidhan, ज्ञान खानि आनंद भवन, देहु मोहि वरदान, वरनो भाषा भागवत, जय शिव आनंद खान, भूतनाथ भव भय हरनम, भक्ति विषय निर्वंद, गौरवरन मंगल करन, हे ब्रज चंद मुकुंद, ब्रजभूषण दूषण हरन, गातहु भव भय फंद, चरण शरण लियांद कर। जय 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 जगदीश, श्वेत शेष महेश अज, महिमा अमित अभेव, वेद भेव जानत रहिए, रिद्धि सिद्धि दाता, सिद्धि सरन वारन वदन, सुमिरो बारंबार, मरण करण के लाल को, मरण करण के लाल को, मरण करण के लाल को।
Principle of Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Yeah, pray out baki camera. Let me, your brown book, let me say some mantra, be time. Bear with me while we're doing the adjustments with the camera. This morning, let me introduce you, for those of you viewing and those of you here in the mandir. Sometimes when a person has different problems, One of the cause of such problem is something called Kal Sarap Dosh. In the birth chart, when Rahu and Ketu are placed in such a way that all the planets that are on display in the birth chart fall between these two, the person is described as being a person under the duress or the effects of this dosh called Kal Sarap. Kal Sarap causes, there are 12 types, depending, let's just pretend for children to understand. Let's say Rahu is in the first house and Ketu is in the 12th house of the birth chart, that fancy drawing that we all know about. Baba, I can't keep a job. Baba, I cannot have children, I keep miscarrying. Baba, I have a lot of problems in terms of, let's say as a lady, another lady, my mother-in-law, my sisters, my cousins, my co-workers, wherever a lady is, regardless to the relationship, I get blamed. I'm constantly being blamed. And these are just different types, different examples of how this Kal Sarap could affect a person. So the Jyotisi or the astrologer will look at the person's birth chart, meaning when the person's birth date in the Patra, it's there in the book. So you see where the Sun was, where the Mars was, where the Jupiter was, etc. And each position gives the person a distinct character. So some people, in everybody's body, there's a predestined weakness in terms of health. So when the child now born and the parent goes to the pundit and says, I want to read this child Patra, you will hear, like in my case, when I was born, I was predestined to have lungs-related, breathing-related problem. And truthful, growing up, childhood asthma, going on Ventolin, Sabatol, as we get lung infection, as we becoming maybe 15, thereabout, different type of prednisolone cause your baba to get fat, different troubles now. And truthfully, what was in the Patra did come to pass. Some people are predestined to have eyes-related problem. Some people have circulation problem. This person will have bone problem. And this, I'm just picking on health, but these things are there. So in the example of Kal Sarap Dosh, imagine you have a box, a drawing, and a snake is lying in this box from the head, from Rahu, the tail to Ketu. And the 12 types, and maybe another day for those of you that are interested in the Pundits class, in the Now class, we could discuss it. If you would like to know, send me a message on WhatsApp. For the people on my channel, I could send you the document as a PDF showing the different types so you could learn, whether for yourself or for your children. Today, this morning in our puja, Pandit Sanjay again led the prayer, and I supported by doing Manas Devi Havan. Manas Devi is described as one of the daughters of Lord Shiva. In the Shakti way, in the Shakti method of worship, she is known as Nagin, the serpent. Manas Devi is the form when you want to Shanti, Kal Sarap Dosh, you do Manas Devi Puja or Kal Sarap Dosh Nivaran Puja, and you're asking the goddess to please Shanti and allow this person's karma to cut. Pandit Sanjay, your mother make that thing strong, boy. It's working. So I'm fighting my own battle here with this sore throat, and by the grace of people like the mothers in the temple here, wonderfully it's working. So this morning when we were doing Havan, the different names, the Astastotra, Shatanamvali of Manas Devi or goddess, sometimes shown in a snake form, was done. Om Shri Manas Divyai Namah. Om Shri Parashakti Divyai Namah. Shri Kasyap Manas Putrikayai Namah. And in different ways, these mantras were chanted. Om Shri Sarp Dharp Vinashanyai Namah. Shri Kal Sarap Dosh Nivaranyai Namah. Sarpa Dosh Nivaranyai Namah. Om Sarpa Bhanda Vinchitya Dosh Nivaranyai Namah. For the people, why am I talking about this? For people who dream snake, for people who have snake on their body, people who study, every time you're going to have puja, snake coming. Until the day you see or you know about what I am talking, you would not appreciate this. Some people even have, in the manifestation side of life, they have gifts with snake. People who have the ability to be born by their foot, or what we call breech birth. These people have gifts that if they rub the patient back, or they rub or massage the person's body, they take pain. But the problem is, they inherit the pain if they're not careful. People who dream a lot of snakes, people who do worship for Nagin, or in the Sanatan method we call it Manas again, they have good and bad. If, for example, the girl has a mark on her body like a snake, she will do great in terms of helping people if she jari. This is a lady, for the elders here, for those of you looking on, send me a message if you ever heard this part. When people have different infection in their eye, when people have different problems in their eye, when people's eye, the iris, or they get damaged, let's say like welders or arc eye, when things shoot into the eye, God forbid, and now it's looking red. Long ago, our people used to go by a girl who had a baby, especially if she has the snake on the body. You look for that person, but in shortcut way, they take a pregnant girl's milk, but the precious one is the one with the snake. If you get her milk and you put that mother's milk in your eye with prayer, such as the Manas mantra or the Manas Devi Stotra, while you're putting it, it heals the eye. It takes away the trouble. So just as how Shiv Baba, when you miss worship or you damage, when we were talking yesterday about how people is throw away the lingam, desecrate their worship when they want to convert. I don't believe in this thing anymore. And what it causes when you harm, damn, disown your lingam, eyesight related problem. Here came his daughter, represented by the cobra snake or the snake in different places. One of the root cause of this game that Hinduism developed, snake and ladder, was started by the daughter of Lord Shiva, showing how karma is. You're going good, one day you go up and then the next day you come down. That game illustrates this Manas Devi. And if the person should use the healing potency of a person guided by snake, whether listening to the dreams, to the guidance, etc., you could help other people. But that person usually has a harsh life in terms of married life, children, etc. Today in our discourse, in this Chaturdasi Tithi, this is our 7th session. Chapter 16 of the 10th skand of Bhagwat is what we're going to do today. And for me personally, I love this chapter. Snakes. Snakes take center stage in this discourse. This is the Kaliya discourse. To preface, the person who is able to listen to this discourse is freed. Why would a person listen to this the benefit of listening to this katha, when inside the body, the person is becoming septic or they are having sepsis, where we get into the reality or the practicality of this body, when the person, for whatever reason, the body is poisoning itself, it says, listen to the katha of Krishna beating this poisonous serpent. Just listen to it. And the blessings that flow is that you're able to rise above any type of venom, regardless to the source. We will hear more as we get to the end of this chapter. God bless you. If I could read one verse. Sukdev Goswami says, O Raja, Rajan Parikshit, what else do you wish to hear? And Parikshit says, please give to me what else happened, what else was done in that city of Vrindavan, where Krishna is growing, and time again, he acts on behalf of the people, the villagers, the children, in particular, the children that so depended on him for safety. Please give me that type of discourse, because it gives me the insight into his ways, into his leela. And I, based on these discourses, I am growing with an affinity for him. By this time, Parikshit had listened to all the different discourses of Mahavishnu, Mastya, Narsingh, Varaha, all these things. He knows where kush grass, where the till, where the different things had come from. But of all the forms of Lord Vishnu, Krishna Katha gives the person the ability to have bhakti. Of all the different forms of Lord Vishnu, the person does not gain tears, emotion for the fish form, for the roaring, fighting form of Narsingh Baba, for the Vaman form. Nothing compares to Krishna Katha. And this is what Parikshit wants. We do not know what Vaman did when he was finished with Raj Bali. We do not know what the childhood, if there is a childhood katha of Varaha form, when Lord Vishnu gets the horse head, which we see in the Panchmukh Hanuman form. We don't know anything other than his chin was resting on a bow, and to go and wake him up because Lakshmi Mata was not present. Brahma tells the ants, go, and if you just bite his toe and wake him up, we'll be happy. But the detail that is given in Krishna Katha, which is lacking, whether in the human, the beast, or semi-beast form of Mahavishnu, the Krishna Leela is in depth. And this is why in Garud Puran, in different places, in Markandeya Puran, you will hear that the name of Krishna burns lifetimes of sin to ashes. For that reason, the person is guided, always chant the Dwadas Akshar Stotra mantra, or the 12 syllable mantra, which we all know, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Parikshit says, Guruji, please tell me what happened next. You just said in our previous discourse, he is roughly 6 years old. He had humbled Brahma. Brahma blesses the land of Vrindavan, and it answers a question, why the Vaishnavite, of all the chandan that exists, why they make this big fuss with the gopi chandan or the white chandan? If Gopi Chandan is the Chandan that is made with the land, the mud, the matti of Vrindavan, we heard why last night. Where Brahma says, blessed is the land of Vrindavan because of the footprint of Krishna. That any person who should wear it, it is as if they are wearing the foot stamp of Krishna upon their body. So our people leaving India, coming to the Western Hemisphere as time passed, had grown accustomed, whilst they had different chandan, different type, kasturi, etc. We all treasure this white, milky mud mixture called tikka, or what we call chandan, because it represents Gopi Chandan. This is what the girls would wear to anoint and adorn their body. Rajan, please listen to the katha of the serpent. Kalya is his name. Kalya is the person that Krishna went to fight. Parikshit says, Guruji, I have heard something about this discourse, but it always puzzled me how Krishna could have caught hold of a serpent in this depth of water. How did he get down? And then, what type of serpent is living in water, Guruji? It is not an aquatic animal. How long was he in that water? Could you please tell me so that let it be as if I am drinking some Charan Amrit, understanding what his little feet were doing. By listening in my ears, let it be as if my digestive tract is getting nutrition this morning, to absorb something that will uplift my body, the way food brings back fuel to this body to function. Just by hearing his discourse, I will get energy to do all that I have to do. Let's hear what he says in this verse. Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam.
Jaya Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam. Jaya Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam. Jaya Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam. Jaya Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam. Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam. Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam.
Kalya Kalya ye sarpa Yamuna Nadiye ye yati Shrapya yena panatam Yatayam yena yamunati.
Jaya Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam. 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 Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam. Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam.
Jai Samba
Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam.
Principal Umapati Mahadeva ki jai. Parikshit, listen. In the Yamuna, it was like a dead corner. The water did not have a current. And in that corner, in that dead zone, the water had become very dark. In the depths of that corner, there lived a mighty serpent by the name of Kalya. Kalya's body is huge, and from his mouth, the venom that is permeating was so potent that if birds flew over that region of the Yamuna, The vapor of the poison would kill the birds. Life on the whole, mobile, immobile, everything on the banks of that region, that area, on both sides, died. If you look at the bank, the grass or the weeds, the shrubs, all brown. Krishna knew that this source of pollution now contaminated the Yamuna. Krishna did not accept, although natural, he did not want this pollution. This is an important point. Let me just pause here. When you go Kartik in Trinidad, in Guyana, in New York, in different parts, have you ever seen the level of pollution that Hindus perpetrate against our water, our land, our landscape? First thing people say, well, Ganga Mata wants the cloth. She wants the sari, 5 yard of sari, 5 yard of cloth. How much jandi, how much this? And they throw it in the water. Ganesh Utsav is coming. And you will see Ganapati Baba going. And then he's coming back on the shore. The purpose of that, in the example of Ganapati Baba, when we go from Matikurna and they do the prayers, the chout before the Ganesh Jayanti. You pray to the earth, just as you do for wedding. And you bring the mud. And at least in Trinidad, in some parts of India, where they make the murti from scratch. When you take mud and you make this mud murti, when you finish, you're supposed to return the mud to where it come from. I don't know about the beaches by you, but by me, our beaches don't have mud. If you are taking your murti, ask your guru, ask your pandit, which beach has mud? Ask him where the source was. So let's say I buy my murti from India. Then the person is supposed to still carry the sweet water, because we learned when Vitra died, ask your pandit, seawater is condemned because of the suds. Just as when the lady inherited, this is when Vishwakarma's son was killed. And Indra gets the shrap of killing a Brahman. He shares the sin in 4 places. The lady gets the menstrual cycle, the tree that is oozing the sap, the earth where barren earth is present, and the suds when the tide is changing on the sea. For that reason, you will not see people use salt or seawater in the Kalsa or in the Lota when they are doing Achman, etc. It is considered fresh, unclean. However, with the tide, people will go to the water and offer the world. If sindoor is simply do you know how to make sindoor? Sindoor is just saffron mixed together with mercury, you know. If we were home, in front of this camera, you could throw sindoor saffron from the root in a bowl. And you put the liquid mercury or sodium, I think it's sodium hydroxide we had. And as you start to mix from yellow, it goes red. Mass produced in labs and factories. For those people who like when the different energies are jumping in their body, I want you to tell me, other than looking like Kali Mai with your tongue sticking out and you're putting red sindoor, from a religious perspective, what is the purpose of putting sindoor? I don't know. I'm not from that background, so I'm asking. If sindoor is saffron mixed together with something that could cause your red cells to no longer take oxygen, mercury, you could get mercury poisoning. and the person is putting copious amounts of sindoor on their tongue, bathing with sindoor water. If sindoor is modified saffron, what spirituality or spiritual benefit is there for ingesting or causing young children when they are doing Kargam part to ingest this sindoor? Research it, you will see what I'm saying. When people do these things, imagine the same seawater we are putting. I am telling you from my own experience from younger days, people take 2 pongs of sindoor and they pour it on Ganapati Baba. They will go when it's mud murti of Devi and they put 3-4 pongs of sindoor on top mother now. And then they want to put the murti in the sea. And when the sea life and shell life damage, we want to know how come, and this is my question, how come the Hindu who worships the water, worships the land, worships the tree, worships Nitya, calls on Nitya in every facet of the puja, is contaminating Nitya to this extent? How could it be condoned in the eyes of God, where we are trying to return, when you burn the coconut in the fire, when you put the flowers to disintegrate in the river, when I can't do it legally, I bury it in the land. I am trying to return these artifacts to the Nitya, to the natural setting. There is no way I could bury a plastic bag and expect it worse if I dissolve it in water to get it to go. What most people are doing, they're polluting the rivers, they are polluting the earth, they are propagating pollution. Krishna in this verse is saying you cannot pollute the river. Verse 6. He goes himself on a kadamba tree on the bank of the Yamuna to free this body of water, to free this goddess that came upon the earth, to give people the burden of blessing, cleansing. Whenever Pandit is doing prayers in his Khalsa or the sprinkling water, till today, we are in Canada now, when we're in Trinidad, when we're wherever, and you hear the Pandit calling Gangas, Godavari, Saraswati, Narmada, they are calling the different rivers, come sit in my lota, I'm sprinkling, I'm putting water, let me get the blessing, as if I am offering Ganga Jal, Godavari Jal, Saraswati Jal, Yamuna Jal, etc. Let me get that type of potency. But in Trinidad, when you go penal, you will see they take from all the flowers, for example, of the Bedi, and only know what I'm talking about. Empty it in the river, good, Jai Vishnu. And poor thing, they've never heard about a garbage can or a garbage bag, Baba. They have to tie it right there on the banister like a decoration. When Hindu people are causing our own downfall, we have to start to call it out. Hindu people should get together in their temples and arrange on a Sunday to clean the park, to do seva in the form of community service for the rivers or beach cleanup. That should be our job, because that jurisdiction is part of our worship. How many Hindu people are planting flowers or propagating the planting of trees? Kaliyug, trees will die. Are you seeing where in the news they're saying the bees are dying off? When bees die off, the problem with that is there's nothing to do cross-pollination. When pollination stops, food crops will drop. Drought will come because nothing is holding the soil. There's nothing to recycle to allow the vapor to go to the air. The entire system dies because of bees. If Hindus are the custodian of the environment, how do you justify allowing your children to take pieces of plastic and paper and toss it into the water, for example? How do you come to your mandir and take your little parsal bag and throw it on the temple floor? How could you be unclean? If we go to a Gujarat prayers, for example, if we go to a Guyanese prayers and you see they're still feeding in their lotus leaves, or in the Gujarat case, they are taking the prasad in their hand and handing you in your hand, your mouthful, your morsel of prasad. Understand that they're cutting, they're circumventing the use of the plastic bag that we are now accustomed using. Somebody said, well, Baba, I have to get more than a handful, a little pinch of how long time in Trinidad culture we used to get prasad. Do you really need so much manbog or prasad? Truth is, if we use that much, Alice, we got to share just a cup full of panchamrit. Everybody will want enough. I need to get enough. And we already dying from diabetes, we're going to be. The truth is, prasad is just a morsel, what you will eat and appreciate, not condemn. He says, this pollution cannot continue. And he pulled up the girdle, he's wearing the yellow dhoti, and across the waist, banded very tightly, is a piece of green cloth. And he tied it further, pulled it very stiff, so as to prepare himself to challenge Kalia. And he jumps into this poison-riddled water. The pool where the serpent was, now with the weight of Krishna. As he plunged in, you could imagine the overflow for a great distance. The weight of his body displaced a lot of water. Too much for a little boy. But because he is Mahavishnu, a thunderous sound as he hit the water. And he went down into the depths of the water. This is the point where he went to do his work. But he tells the friends, the ball that they were playing catch, the ball went into the water and he's doing as if he's going for the ball. When you hear Anand Yankaran sang a song, O Nanda Baba Ji ko Jaya Prabhu Naam He Kanhaiya, Kanhaiya, Kanhaiya Re. Nanda Baba Ji ko Jaya Prabhu Naam He Kanhaiya, Kanhaiya, Kanhaiya Re. They're singing about the son of Nanda Baba. In one verse he says, Kya hai genda hai, kya hai balla. The ballat was the ball that he's playing with. And as the bhajan went on, he says, Krishna is holding the ball. But the poet, the singer is saying, the ball is this world. The whole dunya is the world in his hand. This is the discourse where he has this ball. Krishna went down into the water searching for Kalia. The serpent couldn't take the noise and came out of his little crevice to see who is disturbing him and started to bite the little foot. He coiled, he tried very fast to wrap this prey, not knowing who it was. He throws his coils around this little figure. And Krishna, smiling all the while, who Parikshit allows his body to wrap, to be coiled totally by the serpent. And when the serpent was on him, he starts to cough. He starts to hit. Because now Kalia was as if it were trapped to him. He could not just pull away or pull back because his body is tied. And when he realized he was getting more blows than he could inflict through the squeezing, as the serpent's body through muscle is made in such a way, this part will turn and squeeze, constrict this way, and this portion of the snake's body will constrict this way. In a twisting, squeezing method, he's trying to squeeze, but this little child, this prey, seems as if he is made from adamantium steel. His body cannot bend and his body is not breaking. Kalia senses the danger and he's trying to get off. He's trying to loose, and Krishna is holding the tail. He threw one foot over the end of the tail that is trying to come off the body to lock him into place. The people in Braj, in Vrindavan, started to get all type of sign and signal something is wrong. Remember the children playing in the field away from mother and father. Mother and father in the village doing their duty. Verse 12 says, on the left hand side of the face, the hand of the men, and on the right hand side of the women, by their breasts, in their hands, by their eyes, the body started to jump. Noticing these evil omens, knowing that Krishna and all the children went to graze the cattle. Nanda and all of them as they came, imagine the wife come to tell Nanda Baba, Nanda, I feel something wrong. In my belly, imagine a mother telling you, I feel something happening. I don't know, I have no proof. Besides the jumping of the body, they see black birds start to cross, start to fly. This is an example of what is described in Devi Bhagwat when Durga says, I have children and I will guide my children. You know some of this. When somebody getting ready to go on a journey and they see a black kitten, when you open the front door and you see the black cat walk from the left side to the right side, close back the door and wait, delay, you may end up in trouble in that journey. When we see plenty black scavengers in Trinidad, we go say, Kobo, vultures flying, death is coming, or death is here, whether they are feeding on a carcass or not. These environmental signs, the most popular one, are doing my puja and rain start to fall. Oh God, Mother accept your prayers, Prabhu accept your prayers, everybody happy. Is a good sign. But these signs are indicative of the goddess sending a message to her children, good, bad, good, bad. It takes, Parikshit, it takes a special person to pay attention. A good Hindu pays attention to the environment rather than abuse the environment. The person uses the environment as a medium for communicating with the God. When mother cannot say, listen child, do not go on the road, you will meet your death. And from the environment, different animal life, frogs, different things she's using to send a signal, look out, trouble, trouble. When the person dreams in their sleep, what causes dreams in the section of dreamology, mother says, I guide my children. If I dream snake, snake is enemy, lying, cheating, be careful. If I dream between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m., that first pahar of sleep, that dream, that enemy, in my example of a snake, will manifest in 5 years. Between 9 and 12, that pahar or 3-hour block, it will manifest. Let's say I dream a snake again. It will manifest in 3 years. If I dream between 12 and 3, the same snake, that enmity is coming in 1 year. And between 3 a.m. and morning, or when you get up, you dream it, that is now. In that whole section, it is dictated, dream, rotten teeth, falling teeth, pulling out teeth. What that means? Muddy water. People getting married, people having sex or sexuality, anything with that. What is the warning? And this is where the mothers paid attention. Last night I dreamed of pulling out her teeth. Look out, sickness. Anytime I dream somebody married in bucket, pundit, bucket as people, you know how people talk. Bucket, somebody going to die. I know somebody was going to die, they just did not know who. In the same way, Mother says, depending on the spirituality, when you hear about the snake in your spine, when you hear people talk about chakra, what it is, there's a snake in reference to your spine, the Kundalini energy. A Kundalini chakra is illustrated as a snake that is sleeping at the base of the spine. It is coiled and it is resting. Depending on the person's spiritual energy, depending on their knowledge and how they awaken that energy, the snake starts to go up. And as it is climbing, every time it passes a chakra, it is considered open. When it is open, the person has different abilities to manifest, meaning, God bless you, you'll get through. And once I get that person blessing, I realize I just get through. I realize once you come and bless my house, I realize once this lady rub me, healing, the pain is go, the person jarring me, I just feel different. Those things are due to the person now becoming a conductor of the electrical energy from God, the Divine Mother, passing on to you in the example of healing. For this reason, even in India, when they are doing the oath to bless doctors, and they ask that their hands get blessed, that whatever they touch, they heal. Think about the goddess that we as Hindus ask to sit, that even if it is something that is easily diagnosed, prescribe medicine that will help. But suppose now it's secret and they cannot find the source of the problem. For those of you in the medical field, something tells you, try this test, look inside, find it. Maybe it is this deficiency. And when you try it, you'll see it works. The person is guided to heal and help. But it starts with the growth of this serpent inside the person's body. We refer to it as Kundalini energy. In the same way, these people in Vrindavan are very apt and adapted to listening to the environment as farmers. They look at the messages that the goddess sends when animals appear out of nowhere, when the breeze is blowing different. And in that time, Yashoda went to Nanda and says, something is wrong. My sons are in trouble. The young men, the older men, women drop their tools, eager to see if something is truly wrong with the children. If one person was having a bad sign, maybe we would call it coincidence. But when all the mothers, when everybody is having the same type of warning, they took it as a big deal. And very quickly, they went in search of the children. They find the children. And the children tell them, Krishna went. The ball we were playing and the ball went in the water and Krishna went behind. So now they follow the little footprint in the dirt. And they find the spot where he climbs on the tree. That little foot, it looks as if barley seeds had been sprinkled where he was walking. And when they went where he was in the pool of water, they see how the serpent's fat body is twirling, spinning violently in the water. And they made out the little ebbs of the yellow dhoti. The men and women sorely distressed because now they see that Krishna is being engulfed, ingested even by this huge snake. He's trapped. And they gave up hope. Because who could free themselves? That little boy? No. How will he free himself from that snake? Big people cannot get away from that kind of trouble. They start to cry and they start to beat the floor. The women start to beat their chest. Cursed is this breath of mine. Cursed is this Jivatma to live as a mother to see the death of your own child. I am seeing him being devoured, he's being squeezed in front of me, and I cannot go and save him. They stood there like lifeless bodies, as if they were dead, like if their soul had left the body. Noticing that none than all others were like lifeless. They too, none than all of them, want to go in the water. And Balaram, propped on a tree, watching how his brother does his work, watching how still now, look, he's playing with Yashoda. He could have gone and destroyed the snake in one go. But who is the victim here? Who is the puppet? This whole Leela is playing. Kalia is getting the attention of the Supreme Master of this universe. But Yashoda is the person with her heart held in obeisance. It is as if her heart forgot to beat. The women, the children, they don't know. We know the history of Krishna fighting one demon after the other. We know who he is. We know his ability, and even now we doubt him. Balaram stood there and he watched. Look at your role in these mortal lives, that you hold them, and even if they have knowledge about you, they are still helpless to understand you. For one Mahurat, for 48 minutes, he was constantly being dipped into, as Kalia was trying to drown him, squeeze him, and rob him of the air, and kept him submerged in the water, still trapped in the coils of the serpent. But the serpent is big. His body is massive, and it takes a lot of energy to move. And with this amount of size that this snake has, Kalia feels by now he should have snapped a portion of this child's body, at a minimum his neck. Krishna, realizing that he has been under the water for some time, gets angry and lands. He starts to shake, so much so violently that he comes off the coils of Kalia. And Kalia is hissing with the tongue. The venom is as if the water round is pitching. When you put oil in a frying pan and you drop water in it, the water cannot stand the venom that is coming out of Kalia's mouth in the water. And when Krishna kicked Kalia the first time, he opened his mouth and sprayed more poison in the direction of the boy. Garud, the king of the birds, is watching for an opportunity to just fly in and take this snake. Garud is the one, as I was saying last night when we were talking about Kubir. Garud is called by Mahavishnu in the Katha, where the great devotee, where the king was transformed into Gajendra when he broke the fast of Ekadasi. He is reborn as Gajendra. And the makkar, or the crocodile, was there. When that whole Leela finished, and Lord Vishnu blessed Gajendra and the alligator to go back to heaven, and his soul leaves the two bodies. What to do with these two bodies now? He says, Garud, you are a carnivore, you have to eat it. Have a meal of these two great bodies, it will come like prasad for you. Garud is the one who then eats that. And those bones is what goes to form the ground structure of what is called Lanka. Lanka is a city built on 3 piles of bones that became hills. Situated on that foundation, Kabir went and made the city Lanka that would be taken over by the stepbrother of Kabir, who we call Ravan. Now, Garud is looking for his next meal. And he's watching how Krishna, Mahavishnu incarnate, is playing with his food. And he's waiting, he's licking his lips. And he's waiting for the opportunity, but the Lord is not going to finish with this food. He wants to help the Lord, but the Lord is not leaving the serpent alone. If he only goes, his talons are so powerful, he could damage the boy. So Garud is waiting. And every time Krishna kicks one of Kalia's head, the tongue becomes lifeless on the side of his mouth. The tongue, which was so powerful, when you see the serpent hissing the tongue, when they are making the katha of how Garud come, the Vahan of Lord Vishnu, Garud mother make Garudji and his brother Aruna the charioteer for Suraj Narayan chariot, and her sister Kadru, two of them, Vanita and Kadru, are the two mothers, but they are sisters, biological sisters. And Kadru bring forth all the serpents in this universe. Sheshnag, Vasuki, Kalia, etc. And one cousin, Garud, is the person who does bite all the serpent for this reason. When the serpent them were flying high and reigning over the universe, Kadru makes her sister become a slave to them, to serve them food, etc. Thousands and thousands of serpents. And Garud did not forget this. And for that reason, Garud maintains the enmity with serpents till this moment. But when they wanted to free Garud mother, the serpent tells Garud, go bring with it, churn the ocean and the Amrit, the elixir of immortality. Vishnu has it in his safe. Go bring that Charan Amrit, go bring that Amrit for us, and we will release your mother from this servitude. That is the day Vishnu sees somebody flying quick into his safe and coming out quick with a jar in his hands. And Vishnu caught the person, let's say like how we have video camera surveilling people. Under surveillance, Vishnu Baba saw somebody reach in this most remote place, and he appeared in front of Garud as he's leaving. He says, oh friend, where are you going? He says, I don't know who you are, but do not block me. This is to tell you how early this story is. He did not even know who Vishnu Baba was. He says, move, I am a son, and I am going to save my mother. That is all. They asked me to bring this as ransom. And if I pay them their ransom, they will free my mother. And with that in my heart, nothing will stop me today. He says, okay, you don't want it for yourself? He says, no, this is for my mother. I am delivering it based on an order. Okay, carry it, rest it down, get back your mother. But before they could touch it, because of what it is and what it will give these serpents, take it back. Do not allow them to have it. So said, so done. Garud goes. He says, oh cousins, oh serpents, look. Amrit, he put the Amrit down. And whilst they came, they dropped, they forget the aunt, they forget the mother. Garud scrambles his mother and moves her quick. Get she out and come back. And whilst they were coming by the container to get a lick, to drink the Amrit, to become immortal, Lord Vishnu and Garud steal it back. But as it is moving upward, a little drop fell on the kush grass that was growing. Till today, if you leave kush grass, But the taproot version, it have two versions, one with a fibrous root, one with a taproot. If you leave it for that whole backyard, if you leave it on a hill, it will take the whole hill. It will spread. It is everlasting because of this amrit that fell on it. For that reason, we use it in puja. It is something that brings about blessedness. And what the snake did, the snake saw the amrit, it's just this morsel of amrit on the grass, and he licked the grass. And what it did, it cut the tongue of the serpent. This is where the tongue of the serpent became forked, and it became so immortal that although the dinosaurs, different type of mammals, different type of, for example, the Homo erectus, or what we call the missing link in the evolutionary scale, what we call the Varna in Hinduism, where the monkey, a little more, the back is upright, the bottom is developed so the spine could straighten, and this thumb is developed. That is one of the figures that Hanuman has, but he still has the jaw structure of the of the gorilla. Then he has a great amount of strength. He's not as weak as me and you as human, or where we become evolved to the point of Homo sapien. Homo sapien is human. But while the Homo erectus, they cannot even find proof now to say these things existed, serpents remained. Serpents survive, they evolve, and they remain evolutionary wise. They remained upon the earth because of this. No, because of the kick of Krishna. The tongue that is so everlasting, the tongue of Kaliya, is being destroyed and bloodied with that little foot. Have you ever watched a movie of your Krishna? Or even when, you see when he crossed the foot so, and you see that little heel, pay attention. You'll see the foot look very red, blood red. It says that that foot became stained from the childhood form in particular. Charan Pitya, the artist is showing you the stain of the blood of Kaliya. When all the licks is sharing, Kaliya becomes more and more slowly, more and more defeated, more and more exhausted. And then Krishna jumped on the broad hood of Kaliya and he starts to beat him further. It says that when a person wants to know who, just as Bringi is a servant of Shiva. Bringi Raj is the person with 3 feet. If you ever see a pitié where the money looks very strange, like a tripod, Bringi Raj had received a shrap. And Bringi was the first person to teach dancing to please Mahadev. When Mahadev sees Bringi dancing, this is where Shiva starts to do Tandav dance. He triggers him. When the dance now of Krishna here, till today when people are doing different prayer, they will do this in Krishna Lila, they will dance like Krishna is dancing on Kaliya. But whilst it looked like a child playing, Krishna is hitting only the hood as he's trying to destroy. All the heavenly servants, artists, singers, kanaras, gandharvas, siddhas, everybody watched in awe. They played their instrument, but oh Parikshit, in this dance, it was as if a rod of punishment was being struck down again and again on the neck, on the back of the serpent. And the serpent is getting licks. Blood is starting to ooze from his mouth. The tongue is ripped. His own fangs are cutting his own tongue. And he's poisoning himself from the nostril of the cobra. Blood is coming out. Blood is vomiting into the water. Because of the deadly blows, Krishna is jumping on the head of Kaliya. During this dance, Krishna showed him who was more powerful. And as his body could not choose which one to vomit, blood, poison, he lost control of his bodily functions, and constant fluid started to ooze out of him. When that moment where the life was coming to leave the body, the wives of Kalia, the female serpents come. And how do they come? They surface around the husband, but they are holding the young serpent now, the baby serpent, the baby snake, holding it up to show Krishna, so have mercy, you who have the strong foot. Do not make us widows. Do not do this. Have mercy. All they were saying is, have mercy, stop. Deliver this sinful husband from your punishment. Accept our prayer. Nag Bali, they submitted. Let me do this verse. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti
Rupena Samstita Namastasye Namo Namah Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita
Namastasye
Namo Namah Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita
Jnana Heta Dantatam Krita Kaliyayastaye Brata Kaliyayena Tam Sig Guna Parye Drishti Damya Palya Te
Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita Namastasye Namo Namah Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita.
Prabhu, in this incarnation you have come to chastise the wicked and to lift up the righteous. And the punishment that you are giving to Kaliya, who has committed these sinful acts, you who entertain impartiality, today you have come to fight your enemy. But even now, this treacherous husband of ours, who has earned this punishment, seeks your blessing. Even now, this punishment is a blessing in disguise. The person who gets to touch your feet is considered to be Jivan Mukt. Your wrath today, by the force and the fever that you are hitting him because of his past karam, because of his past sins, he is going to gain the blessing of becoming freed from pride. He is going to become free from all the unrighteousness. Instead, replacing that thinking with the ability to have compassion for all beings, thinking about their nitya and their welfare rather than only establish himself. We cannot imagine or even dream to understand how or what merit he did in his last life, O God of Lakshmi, that today of all the serpents, of all the bad that exists in this world, he gains the opportunity for you to dance on his teeth, on the fangs of Kaliya. Krishna was plain. Those people who get the dust from your feet, in this life they are blessed. In the next life they are blessed. Dear Lord, but spare him. Do not be so strong that you will kill him. Have mercy on our young. Have mercy on us. To punish is your prerogative, but please punish him in a different way. We use the secret mantra now, everybody, that people use when they are sapping or the person is trying to shanty the guidance. Ponder down the seeing snake, ponder down the dreaming snake, and are getting frightened. Put your hands together. Do not allow these snakes to plague me anymore. Namastubhyam Bhagavate Purusham Mahatmane Bhutavamshanaya Bhutabhaya Paramaya Paramatmane Nama. Vrindavan Bihari Lala Ki Jai. Let all these sap, all these snipans be at your feet, O Krishna. Please hear, even in this cursed form, you who direct Prakriti, you who direct the goddess, how to twist and mold herself into whatever potency, in whatever way you wish her to be, she listens to you. If time, based on your order, has to stand still, if time has to stop, we bow to you, the controller of time. Please hear our prayer. Please grant our desires. Namastu Anantya Sakshaya Koti Bhyam Vrikshayanam Nadanyanto Yadharayascha Vachaya Vakchaye Chakra She Namo Pranamula Kavachyata Shanti Asya Sahasrani Prakiti Idam Nrivati Viprati Yetam Naganam Namo Namam Devi Nama Krishnaya Ramaya Vasudevaya Tanayascha Pradyamunayascha Indra Adayascha Sattvatam Pataye Namaha. By all your names, by the name Anirudh, we bow to you. This is long before Krishna has children. And these serpents are calling the names of his children that are to come, Pradyamuna, Anirudh, etc. And Krishna is listening as many verses of prayers, being under your control. We made the mistake, Kaliya made the mistake to think that we could control something. In this life, people believe that because of their size, because of their ability, like Kaliya with his venomous fangs, he's dangerous. He's the true apex predator, and there's nothing beyond him. But dear God, time and time again, you have the unique ability to humble your children. And in that humbling, it is a blessing because it gives the person the opportunity to redeem themselves. Be pleased and pardon this stupid creature who did not recognize you and tried to snatch your life. This serpent is on the point of death, and we as women, we as his wife, we as the children mother, we pray to spare him. Ordain us, and when your worship is to be done, when your yagya, when your text is going to be done, we will behave, we will shanti, we will spare your children, your bhaktin. Safe passage when they are doing your puja. For this reason, when people have Bhagwat, they put aside time to do the same manas prayer, the same prayer that we did this morning. Too often, you will hear people say in the Bhagwat, on Thursday we will be having Govardhan Puja. But if the person knows what they are doing, they will do Govardhan part every day to optimize the opportunity, the blessing that is coming from the prayer. When depending on the tithi, a day is selected, a time is selected, as this morning was, to do Manas Puja. So not only snakes, as you will hear just now, not only snakes don't come to the person, but the poison, the venom, the hatred, the vileness that is in a person's life, that must tipper down, it must dry up because of this statement. Regaining his senses slowly and starting to breathe, belabored with licks, Kalia started to talk to Krishna. He says, "Oh God, we are a race of animal based on karma, that we do not know better. We are ruled by tamas, gun. When something comes too close to the snake, instinctively, not by choice, instinct, they bite, they snap. Instinctively, without purpose or cause, I attacked you. Oh Lord, but it is difficult to relinquish a person's natural disposition, where a person is identifying with their body. When they think they are only this body, for some people they start to act as if they are an evil force. And they cannot be better. They cannot do better. But you who created this universe, you could have mercy on foolish people like me. You could have mercy upon sinful people who get trapped in venomous forms. When people are only able to add venom, you could make that change. Please, instead of punishing me further, protect me now. Here in this speech, understanding the nature of Kaliya, he says, you cannot stay here further. You want mercy, but you cannot live here. Leave this body of water. You cannot pollute this water. You have to come out of this water. Leave this water for the people of Vrindavan and the cows that live in this district. In sparing you, I am not going to harm my devotee. Further, whatever mortal being listens to this discourse by the words of Krishna, whosoever should recite it, whosoever should listen to it or cause another person to listen to it in the morning time, the most opportune time to read this discourse is in the morning. As it was morning time when he jumped into the water was calm and cool. That person will have first no fear of serpent. When people say, When people say you are kal sarab dosh, and in those relationships the person is becoming a coward in their marriage, in their relationship, they're afraid to talk. Different type of abuse, verbal abuse, financial abuse, physical abuse, etc. The person is, that abuse is going to stop. When somebody who is married to somebody who is called sarap, that person does not realize that their life, any person who has manifestation, any person who is born breech, that person is a very spiritual person. And when you make the decision to join that person, you have to know how to leave that person alone at times. That Durga is considered to be a very jealousful form. And one of the problems when you marry somebody who is breech birth or they have sapping tendencies is that if they are not allowed to do their seva or their spirituality, the person who is the spouse, that person's lifespan is cut down. Person could die young. However, using prayer like what we did with the Manas Havan, the Shatanam Bali of Manas Devi, or the 108 names of the snake form, coupled together with this discourse, where Krishna is fighting and battling Kaliya, the person can find a balance, shanti, the sap, overcome the tendencies of Kal Sarap. One example of Kal Sarap, you have a daughter, always a daughter, and she will bring untold bad news to the father. She will drag that father. She will make that father's lifespan shorten, and he will get all the blame. Anything she do wrong, he will get the blame. If the person wants to come out of that, there is something called Kal Sarap Dosh Nivaran Puja, where after the prayer, just like how when we do Satnarayan Katha, Vratan Katha, you do the puja and then you read the Katha from the book of the Satyanarayan part. In the same way, when the person is Shanti in the snake, they do the worship and then they come and read this discourse. He says, O Kaliya, your Katha will live on throughout time, manifesting blessings. For this reason, I will spare you today, but you will have to move. Whoever takes bath in water, fresh water, not salt water, whosoever should take the offering of water, tarpan or adar, observing fast, meditating on Krishna, when this discourse is read, that person could rise above the sins that they made in this life. This is an example of somebody who committed who caused another person to kill themselves. Think about what I'm saying. Sometimes in temper, well, if you're a man, kill yourself. And people say these words. Unfortunately, some people kill themselves out of temper to show, Mommy, I will show you. I will show you how vexed I am. I will show you, husband, how really angry I am, to make your memory hurt. The person who inflicts pain, the person who inflicts injury to cause somebody to self-damage, the person who murders another person, and they are standing and they are praying, God, even I, who have made a world of mistake. One day I was reading this discourse, and the person said to me, Pandit, when you read that, it will be like a permission, like a get out of jail free card for people who are in the jail. But consider this, violence and prisoners, killers, rapists, all still God's children. People make mistakes, some more than others. But as pundits, even we go to the jail and pray with people. People who are on remand, people who are on death row, people who, because of whatever happened, they are in a hospital bed. Even these people are shown the grace of God. This is why in chapter 9 of Gita, he does say, don't judge the person. You may not have the capacity to understand objectively why whatever happened. You may judge wrong. Your job is to use your strengths, your karma, to provide the opportunity for betterment. Leave the judging to God. He takes the form of Yamraj to facilitate this. Leave that person to reach, because sometimes in the Katha, why we do Arti the Lingam like a clockwise, the person was starving, went into the temple to thief all the jewel from on the murti that people had put, and he went to thief the food that is associated with the Lingam on the night of Shivratri. When the thief went into the temple and all the people sleeping by the mandap, he mashed one of the foot. And he went and he pulled to see the gold and to see the food. He take his own dhoti and he rip it and he make a wick the deer out. And he brings back the light to reflect on the lingam. And when he saw whatever it had, the gold, the gems, the different things people put by the lingam, he started to scoop up the gold and scoop up all, let me say, fruits, barfi, etc. for children to understand. And he make his way to the, coming out now, leaving the doorway where the lingam is. And he happened to mash one of the devotee foot. Chod, chod, chod. The alarm is sung. And from the dead of night, this band of devotee turned a band of murderers. They run that boy. This is in one of our texts. They run him and they belabor him. They beat him. They beat him. They beat him. How could you thief? How could you malign the lingam? And in the name of Mahadev, they killed that boy. But when the soul of the boy reached to Ishwar, Ishwar took his soul as being cleansed, that he had received punishment for all the different sin he had done, making him hungry and starving in the first place. And because he ate from the lingam and he lit the light, till today, because of this person's lesson, we do not arati it this way over the lingam, because when the tari reach here, it will cast a shadow on the surface of Ishwar. So people who know do a half circle arati like this. If arati is I'm giving the light energy, the heat energy, the from this offering of deep. From that discourse, people arati like that till today. This is why over lingam, you go in the puja store, I forgot the fancy name for the apparatus, the hanging or suspended diya, the brass hanging diya. You will not see that hanging like how you have the kamandal hanging over the lingam. You will not see the light hanging over. If the light was hanging here and the light, like my finger is here, under the lingam, under the light, sorry, it would cause a shadow, and that would be inappropriate. The people who kill all the devotee, all the bhakt and bhaktin who killed the boy, when they went to Shiva, Shiva punished them. How in doing my worship, you will not find compassion, you will not ask a question, you are quick to judge, and for that, receive your benefit, which is punishment. The person who is doing worship is supposed to be in a very calm spirit. We all have temper, but to inflict hitting and hurting, to use religion and the name of God as the source of you doing sinful act is one of the biggest mistake that a Sanatanist could make. For that reason, when the person is offering the water on the lingam, dear Lord, based on this katha, take out from me the judgmental ways that I have. When I look at other people and I judge and I say this one good and that one good, I could be wrong. Today, I realized this. In this discourse, Parikshit, Garud was hunting all the snakes, and Kalia did not want to get devoured by Garud. Because of his size, he's slower than his younger brothers. So on the island where the snakes started off, Ramanak, he leaves that place to find shelter with his family, to foster the young ones. And for this reason, amongst the prayers and all the praschit that he did do, asking for forgiveness, he applies for the mercy of Krishna, Kriparaj. Even here, something that is venomous, something that is considered to be Kal or darkness incarnate, a symbol of bad in the form of dreams, in the form of patra. There is nothing good associated with a black snake. It is reminiscent of people who have bad ways even. Nobody compliments anybody and say, oh, you're like a sweet snake, for example. But the person who worships Krishna, the person who worships the same snake now because of this pedestal it is placed on, because of the devotion it harbored, his safety is assured from Garud. And the person who does Sap Puja gets health, help, and the blessing that their mouth must not be venom. When they speak, when they say something, where we in Trinidad is called goat mouth, it must not take the person, it must not be full of shrap to malign, to hurt, to hinder. Take your prayers and help people, but do not take this mouth that we work so hard karmically and become Kalia, only spraying fumes of venom. They worship the Lord of the universe, the snakes, and all the while the people of Vrindavan were watching, accompanied by their family and younger ones. Everybody's worried. Only one fella is smiling. This Balram is saying to them, "Ola, give him a chance, give him a chance." And everybody witnessed, together with the family and his circle. Kalia left that area of the Yamuna forthwith, going back to the Ramanak island, where all the snakes and serpents dwelled. And because of the natural flow of the Yamuna, that region, from having a black, murky, mossy color, instantly became pure, clean, and life, fish, aquatic life, remained, it renewed, it came back. When, that is chapter 16, in chapter 17, in the first part, it says that Yashoda, as we conclude this morning, Yashoda is watching how everybody staying quiet and everybody hopeless and everybody give up on Krishna. Balaram is confident that Krishna is doing his leela, Krishna is doing his work. And everybody is standing up without moving. And Yashoda come and she start to bawl. The ladies, Rohini and everybody have to hold she back because she wants to go to reach Chikana. All she saw was her baby dancing on these vicious fangs of this snake and how red his foot was. When he comes out of the water and he come back by his mother crying or playing the game, Dolar, he want the love of the mother, giving the mother the play that she wanted. That I need you, Ma. I need you now more than anything. This whole world is falling apart. If you don't hold me now, I will fall. Mommy, I get frightened. And she started to kiss the foot. She started to kiss the toes. She started to kiss the under the foot, and she says, look how red. Look at what they do, my child, and everybody stand up watching my baby foot get red. And she put the little child foot on her head. She says, if I could take away your pain, I would. Christian smiled. All the cry, all the dollar, everything stopped. But blessed is the parent, blessed is the mother, Yashoda. The devotees looked at the opportunity this mother had to play and caress his little feet. They wished they had the opportunity to come close to it. You and I, we bow to great gurus. And when you see a guru reach that sannyasi stage, when it's pundit like me, they will go and touch his foot and get all he shakti, take the energy, take from his foot. And when the pundit gets older, they are blocked, and the person has to touch the floor, not the foot anymore, a little distance in front. Whatever merit he has, he accrues it for himself, for his own benefit. They are like that. They could bow to the floor in front of him, but they cannot get to touch the foot. They cannot get to kiss that foot. They cannot get to enjoy that foot. Blessed is this Yashoda, because she got to do it. Principle of Indravan Bihari Lala Ki Jai. Let me ask Pandit Vivek, who's with us this morning. Vivek, Baba, give you a little chant for we Christian. He's a very talented Pandit, following in his daddy's footsteps, here from the Canada area. And he came to join with us this morning to support. Let's join with Babaji before we do Arti and closing mantras as we close this section of Bhagavad.
Hey Govinda, Hey Gopal, Keshava Madhava Dinadaya. Hey Govinda, Hey Gopal, Keshava Madhava Dinadaya. Hey Govinda, Hey Gopal, Keshava Madhava Dinadaya. Dinadaya Prabhu, Dinadaya,
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 Dinadaya Prabhu, Dinadaya.
Hey Govinda, Hey Gopal, Keshava Madhava Dinadaya.
Hey Govinda, Hey दया
दीन दयाल प्रभु दीन दयाल
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 हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम
हरे राम
राम राम
हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
ओ हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Boy, you do justice. Thank you for adding value to we Bhagwat by chanting that Maha Mantra. Everybody, let's all stand as we do Arti, as we conclude this 7th session of our Saptaha Bhagwat. For those of you viewing online, we are broadcasting from the Satya Jyoti Mandir here in Brampton, Canada, where, as I said, we've reached we're going to do 8 sessions just now, and everyone is invited to come and join. All the pundits are here to support puja, offerings, even food is prepared for everybody. Please come. Sajam cha varti sanyuktam grahina yojitam mayam deepam grahana devesham trilokyati milapaham. Let's join together as we do Arti.
जय जननी जय भागवतम, जय जननी जय भागवतम, जय जननी जय भागवतम, जय जननी जय भागवतम। जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। ये अमर ग्रंथ ये मुक्ति पंथ ये पंचम वेर निराला, नव ज्योति जगाने वाला। ये अमर ग्रंथ ये
मुक्ति पंथ ये पंचम वेर निराला, नव ज्योति जगाने वाला।
हरि ज्ञान यही वरदान यही,
हरि ज्ञान यही वरदान यही,
जग के मंगल की आरती,
पापियों को पाप से है तारती।
जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। ये शांति गीत पावन पुनीत, श्रापों को मिटाने वाला, हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला।
ये शांति गीत पावन पुनीत, पापों को मिटाने वाला, हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला।
है सुख करनी है दुख हरनी,
है सुख करनी है दुख हरनी,
के मधुसूदन की आरती,
पापियों को पाप से है तारती।
जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। ये मधुर बोल जग फंद कोल, संग मार्ग दिखाने वाला, बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला।
ये मधुर बोल जग फंद कोल, सन मार्ग दिखाने वाला, बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला।
श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही,
श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही,
प्रभु की महिमा की आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। जय जय भागवत भगवान
की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती।
पापियों को पाप से है तारती। हरि सुंदर मंद मुकुंदा, हरि नारायण हरि ओम। हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंदा, हरि नारायण हरि ओम। हरि केशव हरि गोविंदा, हरि नारायण हरि ओम।
हरि केशव हरि गोविंदा, हरि नारायण हरि ओम।
हरि सुंदर मुंद मुकुंदा, हरि नारायण हरि ओम।
हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंदा, हरि नारायण हरि ओम।
वनमाली मुरली धारी गोवन गिरवर धारी वनमाली मुरली धारी गोवर्धन गिरवर धारी निट निट कर माखन छोरी गोपी मनहारी निट निट कर माखन छोरी गोपी मनहारी आवो रे गावो रे गोकुल के प्यारे
आवो रे नाचो रे गोकुल के प्यारे
आवो रे कान्हा रे गोकुल के प्यारे
आवो रे कान्हा रे गोकुल के प्यारे
आवो रे नाचो रे रास रचाओ रे आवो रे नाचो रे
रास रचायो रे
गावो रे नाचो रे रास रचाओ रे गावो रे नाचो रे रास रचाओ रे हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंद हरि नारायण हरि ओम हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंद हरि नारायण हरि ओम हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंद हरि नारायण हरि ओम हरि नारायण हरि ओम हरि नारायण हरि ओम हरि नारायण हरि ओम। वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। ओम पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम पापोऽहं पापकर्महं पाप आत्म पाप संभव त्राहि मां पुण्डरीकाक्ष सर्वपापहरो हरिम्। ओम कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावद् करोमि यद्वत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायति समर्पयामि। ओम करचरण कृटवा काय जन्म कर्म वा श्रवणनयमजं वा मानसं वापराधं वहितं अवितं वा सर्वं एतत्क्षमस्व। जय जय करुणाब्धे श्री महादेव शंभु श्री महादेव शंभु श्री महादेव शंभु। ओम सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मां कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। बार बार परमांगो हर्ष देह श्रीरंग परसरोज अनपायिनी भक्ति सदा सत्संग। ओम मंत्रहीनं क्रियाहीनं भक्तिहीनं जनार्दनं यत्पूजितं मया देवं परिपूर्णं तरस्तु मे। ओम त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ओम शान्तिः 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 हरिः ओम। एक बार बोलो श्री गणेश भगवान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय। पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय। श्री विष्णु भगवान की जय। प्रभु श्री रामचंद्र की जय। श्री कृष्ण चंद्र की जय। सूर्यदेव भगवान की जय। पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय। श्री नागरदेव भगवान की जय। आदि शक्ति जगदम्बे मैया की जय। श्री महालक्ष्मी माता की जय। सरस्वती माता की जय। देवी सीता सीता माता की जय, देवी गंगे माता की जय, रारे रानी सकार की जय, श्री पृथ्वी भूमि धरती माता की जय, सर्वदेवी सर्वदेवता सर्व साधु ऋषि मुनि जन की जय, श्री गुरु महाराज की जय। प्रेम से बोलो श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। सबको की दंडवत जय जय सीताराम। प्लीज टच द ग्राउंड। ओम करो भक्ति से दंडवत शत शत करो प्रणाम, सराबसो उर में मेरे बन गुरु शिव श्री राम, परम गुरु महाराज की जय, सदगुरु की दंडवत जय जय सीताराम।
Principle of Intravan Bihari Lala ki jai. All devotees all have all the seat as Arti. Charan Amrit Prasad meals prepared for everybody. We'll be starting back just now. Let me thank Pandit Sanjay this morning and Pandit Vivek for supporting us. I hope that we could ask Pandit Vivek to be with us for more sessions. We'll discuss that more. Everybody viewing online, join with us just now as we continue in another day.